Hey guys, so I was just taking a look at these new Goodnites. This is the size large, and I've got a bit of a story to tell you here. And I hope I don't lose many of you. It might get a little confusing. I'll try to make this as straightforward as possible. Now, I noticed something kind of interesting. So with the new large size Goodnites, now these are the ones for boys. I'll show you what they look like right now. So, I should be really wearing a size XL, but what I found was that this padding, when I put them on, I found that this was narrow on the crotch and like around my balls and all that. I found that like one of my balls, my left side one, was like kind of hanging over the pad. And I thought, that's odd. Like, what is going on here? Because if you see this here, like many, many years ago, this was the old size LXL. Now this might be like 2019 and before that. Seems like every 3 or 4 years, Goodnites changes the design. And it's the same rise pretty well. And I always knew that these, they were almost high enough of a rise, but not quite enough. And that's where the size XLs really came in handy right here. So here's the boys XL and the girls XL. Now, so I did some measuring and I found out that, let's just flip this inside out again. I'll tell you what I thought first. I thought, well, on the side of on the Goodnites, the Goodnites website, I think it was Amazon or something for Goodnites, it did mention that they have new and improved sides. So I'm thinking, well, am I having problems down there because the leg gathers are bigger? Because they look a little bigger. They're blue. They used to be white, just like that. Is it that they're not holding everything in? What the heck's going on here? So I measured it. So if we measure it here, let's use centimeters. It's not a very big pad. And I found that the width is, well, it's going to be hard to show you, but pretty close to 7 centimeters. And if we look back at the original, well, this is 2 generations ago because there was one with cupcakes I couldn't find. So the girls had one with cupcakes before, or sorry, after this, but before this design. So the pad width before, if we go to the narrowest point, was about 8 centimeters, so 1 centimeter more. And that might not seem like much, but when you're dealing with 8 centimeters, that's actually 1/8, about more, right? I'm not that great at math, but it's a little more. It's like 1/8 more. So what I'd always kind of bickered that the size XL Goodnites here, boys and girls, I didn't like how the pad wasn't any longer, because if you size up like the length of this pad versus this or this, it's the exact same pad. The only thing that increases is the like height of the pull-up, so it gives you a better fit and more feeling of coverage, but it doesn't actually give you more coverage in terms of padding. You can see, there's an obvious rise difference there, but the padding's the same. Just trust me on that for length. So when I first measured this, I thought, because I actually put them side by side and noticed that, one is wider than the other. I got excited. I thought, oh, well, maybe the difference between like the size large and this are that, at least you get a wider pad, not longer, but wider to accommodate bigger people. Of course, that made sense. But then, of course, my brain went back to thinking, years ago, like these, like my balls did not ride over the side. So something's going on here. So that's why I pulled out the original. And so let's take a look at the width of this one. So the width of the more modern size XL is the same as the old ones. We'll call them vintage right here. These prints, 8 centimeters. So what happened was there was a style in between, like when they introduced the size XL, they gave us these prints right here. So these were new. But at that same time, there was a design. It was called, it was originally large, extra large. So when they were making these ones, boys and girls, it was called large, extra large. And that was the biggest they had. Complaints were people wanted bigger ones, so they made these ones. But so after this style, there were ones, look it up online, they were like purple with cupcakes. And I'm going to say they ran like oh, maybe I'm just guessing, but 2019, I'm gonna say, till up until around now. And they have cupcakes on them, and I forget the other print, but they're purple anyways. Similar like this, but cupcakes, more of a solid purple, no dots. And originally, when those switched over, these didn't exist when the new styles after this came out with the cupcakes. They were still called LXL. But then at some point, mid-production or a year or two in, they came out with these new styles, XL. But what they did is they took the size LXL and turned that exact same Goodnight into a size L, so large. And so the LXL, I assumed, became the large. I assumed it was the same pull-up. My question is, was it at that time that the padding got thinner? Because we could see here that, like essentially they're supposed to be the same thing. Although, I don't know, I may be getting all screwed up here because at the time I think these were supposed to support up to 110 pounds. And now they're saying they're only rated for 95 pounds. So if they made the padding thinner and smaller, it would make sense, I guess, that they would downsize them. Like the width for a smaller person, I kind of get it. So, although I don't know why, it just seems maybe they're cheaping out. That, all along this would be the better width. So this style has the same exact pad as the newer Goodnites. So they didn't actually up the absorbency of these ones or increase the size of the padding. They're just the same as the old with more material and, larger sides and higher rise. What they did, it looks like to me, is they decreased the absorbency, decreased the width here. So the point I'm getting to here, I'm looking for the size XL. They did come out with new designs for boys and girls, men and women in the size XL. I'm really hoping, and you guys better hope with me, that they did not reduce the size of this pad in the size XL for the new generation, or we are in big trouble because, even for ladies, like the absorbency is going to go down for you. And for guys, for our, hardware down there, your balls are going to be slipping out, most of you. So it's going to be really disappointing. I know I'm disappointed with the girls design in these. Here's the boys design in size large, which is, kind of impressive, honestly. But not really because it's thinner. So I got these from a Target. These are labeled as LXL, just like I was saying here. But this, apparently, it's the same manufacturer, just a different design that Target uses. I think they're called Up and Ups. So they're very, they're identical, actually, I would say, just, besides the designs differences. And a little bit of a shade difference in the blue there. It's hard to see it. But you can see the cut and everything overall on the side panel is the same. So I'm guessing maybe different manufacturers. I don't know what's going on here. I told you I was going to confuse you guys. But these are the same. The Up and Ups and the new Goodnight size L large are the same. You can see LXL there. And it's not saying large here, but trust me, they are large. Exact same height, exact same width of pad. I measured it, same thickness, everything, same smell. So I don't know if they're using a different factory, but we better hope they didn't decrease the width of these in the new generation, because you know what? What company is this? Is this Kimberly-Clark? I think so. Isn't it the same company as Depend? Depend is famous for cutting costs, and you're going to have a lot of wet sheets if you trusted these before and you're buying them now and the padding is thinner. But let's not get too worked up about it. Let's see if I can I went to the store twice now that carries them in town, and the new style is out, obviously, but they're always sold out of the XL. Never had a problem before when they were selling this generation. Now with the new one, can't find them. So in terms of thickness, yeah, I don't know. I really hope they're not thinner now. Sometimes it's so hard to tell. I'm going to say they're about the same thickness, but the pad is definitely narrower. Anyways, hopefully half you guys could comprehend half of what I said there. So anyways, that's it. That's that's just my findings. So something weird's going on. Anyways, thanks for watching.